Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I am so glad to be here. This morning was a little bit of a slow start because I had some technical difficulties. So if you were looking for me, I'm sorry. It might take you a minute to find me, but I'm going to go ahead and just plow in because this particular topic is one that I get so often. It's a question that I get a lot, and that is, how do I build my following to say 10,000 followers on Instagram, for an example? So this is a question I get all the time because on Instagram, there's some special features you get once you get to 10,000 where you can swipe up and go to a website, which is a big deal on Instagram. But I get this question for all of the social media platforms all the time is, how many followers do I need? Where do I find the followers? How do I get them? And a couple of about a month ago or two, somebody asked me to sit on a panel about how to get to your first 10,000 followers on Instagram. And I understand why they have the title, but the point is, I don't think you need 10,000 followers on Instagram. And let me kind of explain. It's always nice to have it, don't get me wrong. But what I really want to talk about today is what constitutes you getting results from social media. And I kind of talk about social media in business. Okay, so that's part of it. And that's why I want to talk to you about this today. So I wanted to jump in and just give you a few ideas that I have here. And also, I'm going to turn on my comments here so I can see who's here. So if you are here, I see a couple of eyeballs coming in. Let me know you're here so I can say hello. And as I do, I'm going to start talking about a couple of things. So the first thing is this idea of what I call my dirty little secrets, okay, about social media. The first one is, if you're looking at people that have a lot of followers, and they're going to probably have a lot of engagement on their social media channels if they've done a great job of that. It doesn't mean that their followers are fake if they don't. They could have built their following for a long time, fallen off, and come back later. So that, don't make that immediate assumption. But we work with a lot of influencers and we hire them for jobs. So I look very carefully at each influencer and what they're doing. And here's the dirty little secret with a lot of influencers. Even if they have a lot of engagement, sometimes it's because they're in something called a pod. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but people will join together and like comment on each other's stuff to kind of, ramp up the engagement. That happens a lot with influencers. I will kind of attest to that. I know there's nothing wrong with having a group of people that you're connecting with and you're sharing each other's stuff and you're liking each other's stuff. But here's the thing, whoever it is that's engaging on your social media platform or profile, that is who the social media profile will send you more of. So the algorithms, we all hate them and love them, but that's really how they work. The algorithms know who you're talking to, both publicly and privately. So all of those DMs and behind the scenes, they see that you're connecting with people. I'm not saying they're reading what you're saying, although they are in a very broad sense. They are looking at the OCR, the text analytics, to see what people are kind of thinking about. But the basic thing is that say you and I start DMing to each other or private messaging each other a lot on any platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, they all have this. And what that platform will know is that now you and I have a closer relationship. Like, I probably would like to see what you're posting because you and I are always talking. So guess what? In the public feed, I'm going to start getting more of your stuff and you're going to start getting more of my stuff. So that really is the dirty little secret, is that engagement is literally everything in social media. So if you go out and just put a post out there and say, hey, I have this new course, I have this new thing, it is not going to help you unless you have a base of people that you're already communicating with. Okay, so that brings me to the second question is, hey, I don't have time for all this crazy stuff. I don't have time to spend all day, connecting with people on social media. Tell me, is that what you're thinking? I know that's what you're thinking because I've heard this question from a lot of people and I feel it too. I absolutely do feel it. We don't have a lot of time in our schedule. And especially if you're a business owner or you're doing another job, do you really have time for this? The question is, no, you probably don't. So how do you get around that? And you have to have the engagement. It's absolutely it's non-negotiable. You have to have that engagement. But how do you build that engagement? That's the question, right? So the next thing I would say is that you need to have a plan, okay? So Buying followers, by the way, also, I'm going to say this before I move on to the next step. Buying followers along with the pods is also a mistake. That's the other dirty little secret. Everybody says don't buy followers. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. Do not buy followers. Here's why. This is the big reason. Again, the algorithm is going to punish you if you buy a bunch of followers that then don't engage with you. It's just going to look great on the screen, but it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to actually get you what you want. If you want to get to 10,000 on Instagram or something like that, don't worry about that. If you need to swipe up, just buy an ad. An ad will do the same thing. It's $10, it's cheaper. Don't do that. So buying followers actually just harms you because it makes you have a bigger following that doesn't engage. And by the way, engagement rates and stuff like that for big accounts, the bigger you get as far as numbers, here's the other dirty little secret, the less engagement you're going to get, just across the board, because people start following you for various reasons, and those reasons change, and they don't come and unfollow you necessarily unless they're playing that unfollow follow game. They don't do that because normal people don't do that, right? So yeah, there you go. Yeah, see? Thanks, Brooke. Hi, Chuck. How are you doing? So that's really what I wanted to say as far as the dirty little secrets behind the scenes and how the algorithm works really is this thing. It absolutely will harm you. And that's why it will harm you. I don't like to just say, don't do something. I want to explain to you that it's not in your best interest to either buy followers or be in a pod, because you will not get the engagement you need to make the sales that you need to make as a business or as a company. And if it's not sales, the kind of thing, the actions you want people to take, right? So for nonprofits, donations, I mean, and by the way, I mean, nonprofit, definitely do not buy followers because those people don't support your cause. Duh. I mean, I don't think most nonprofits even think about doing that, but that's absolutely the case. But if you're like a person that you're like, I really want to, kind of grow my influence and I want to start my business and I want to move forward, the best thing you can do is to build that engagement. And you definitely need a plan to do that. So I have put together a plan that lots of people are using, and it's dead simple. I'm going to actually try to share my screen here. I have this cool new little, I have this really cool new little monitor that I just got that I'm really excited about. So hopefully it works this morning. But I'm going to show you my 2x2 plan for how you can do this. And can you set 15 minutes aside a day, you can get this done. I know that we're busy. I'm busy. I don't like to hang out on social media all day either, even though I'm a social media person. I mean, I'm doing work in social media all day. So the last thing I want to do is hang out there whenever I have a couple of free minutes, right? So I understand completely how you feel if you're kind of in that bucket. Hold on, I'm gonna do this real quick. All right, so can you see that? Let me know if you can see that. I think you probably can. So this right here is something that I want to, and I've got to share my screen. That's the other thing I have to do. I'm going to share my screen, and then you will be able to see it. Duh. Okay, here we go. Share. Now you should be able to see it because I'm pulling it up. There you go. So I'm going to make this really big. The pink and the yellow clash. Anyway, so what I want you to do is a simple thing. I want you to set a 15-minute timer. I use my phone and I just set a timer. You can use your computer, whatever is easiest for you. And I want you to go into the social media platform of your choice, whether it be LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, any of these. And I want you to have 2 conversations per day that you put out there, okay? So that you go out and you just ask a question to your community. A conversation can be actually you posting. So post a question or conversation, and then try to, get people to respond to you in that. Now, right away, they may not respond. Okay. So I would just start thinking about making all of your posts a little bit conversational. One of the things we used to talk about when I was blogging a lot more is we used to talk about how you could leave an unfinished post or a post that was not finished. So a lot of what we tend to do is put out posts that are like, this is how it is, and this is the finished product. And it doesn't really leave it open for anybody to add something to it. When you ask people for their advice or their you ask them questions. One of the ones I've seen that's really great is, what books are you reading right now? Or what podcasts are you listening to? What's cool with that? Two things. Number one, you'll learn about a lot of cool books and podcasts. Number two, you're going to find out what your audience actually likes to read and where they like to listen. So for me, that's like a siren call. Like, so I could put out, maybe I'll do that today. We'll see how it goes. But I'll put out, what podcasts are you listening to right now? And then people can come back to me with what they're listening to. And if it makes sense, I can go and try to pitch myself to be on that podcast. Or I can sponsor it if I'm a company or whatever. So if you understand what your audience is listening to or talking about, you can absolutely use that information to help, connect with them in other places. Also, you can use it on the back end of Facebook too, because you can run ads to bigger. So if people say, I read the Washington Post every day, then you can actually, send out an ad that targets people that reads the Washington Post and likes social media, for example, or have an interest of social media. So there's some really cool things you can do if you understand your client or your customers or your audience better. That's number one. So you're going to learn a lot about your audience as you do this. That's number one. So 2 conversations per day, either a post like what I just said, something that's out there that asks people a question, or, by the way, just a private message to someone you haven't talked to in a while, maybe a client or somebody who could be a potential client that you know. Don't go after strangers on this one. You can do that on LinkedIn a little bit if you're trying to grow your following on LinkedIn or growing the people you're following by adding them to your network. You can do that here too, but you have to be very careful. Do not sell to them. This is not a sales thing. This is not prospecting. This is all about building relationships only. So 2 conversations per day. All right, that's number one. Then number 2 on the 2x2 is 2 replies or comments per day. So that's the other part of this. You have to go out off of your platform to someone else's platform and like something of theirs, but really better is to comment. Go in, because they're going to notice that if you leave a comment, ask them another question, add something valuable to the conversation that's going on around their post. Because how do you feel when you put a post out there and nobody comments on it? You feel like, is it just crickets out here? So you do what you want people to do for you. That's the key. You do what you want people to do for you. So you respond or share someone else's content, and be sure to add your own thoughts. Really, really important. If you share something, don't just retweet it. Actually, now Twitter, I don't know if those of you who aren't on Twitter don't know this, but Twitter has a policy now that if you try to retweet something that you haven't clicked on and read first, they won't let you go forward with it before you actually, go and read it. So I think they'll let you do it, but it's a lot of steps before you can get to that. So I love that about that Twitter right now, because that's really important. It's really important you go and read what you're about to share with your audience, and that you add your own take on it or your own extra thoughts, because people are following you and they want to know what you're saying. In fact, the other day, I do this all the time, by the way. I use this myself constantly. And I was on Twitter and I went to a profile of a guy, and he'd retweeted a bunch of stuff, but he had added none of his own thoughts on any of it. And I was trying to look for something I could engage with them on, and I really couldn't, because everything there was somebody else's stuff. So if you do share somebody else's stuff, you need to add your own flavor to it. It's really, really important. So replies or comments. So really, at the end of the day, 15 minutes, either posting, going out to other people's profiles, responding to people. That's all it takes, guys. And if you want to be a ninja, do it twice a day. Do it in the morning and do it in the afternoon. If you want to be a ninja, believe me, I've worked with tons of my clients. In fact, one of them, Natalie, was telling me about this the other day. She started posting on her profile after she took my Smart Social Secrets course, and she couldn't believe it, but pretty quickly she was able to amass a group of people that wanted to do her intuitive eating program, that were interested in the same thing. And she was able to put a group together, and they're meeting right now. And it was all because she started showing up. That's really half the battle. Showing up is half the battle. So that being said, I do have the 2x2. You can get it. It's free. If you are like, I don't remember all that. I don't know. I always think I'm going to remember stuff, and then I don't. I put together a 6-part email. Basically, that's all it is emails. So if you sign up for this, it's free. It'll send you 6 emails, and it takes you step by step by step through the process. so that you can build your own little 2x2 plan. But I'm telling you, if you do this just for a little while, you're going to find out that you can absolutely 100% grow your following, grow your business, grow just really your relationships in your industry. And I just, I'm sorry that people feel like it has to take over your life, but it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. You don't have to do even what I'm doing, these big, long live streams where I prepare for them. I do them once a week. You don't have to do that, although it helps. It helps a lot because I can run ads to this live stream. And hey, if you're watching this ad and replay on this live stream and replay on an ad, it works. And then you can take that and start to grow that community around your brand. So all of it has to go together, guys, but it has to be around a community idea, right? So for me, that's just really the key of the whole thing. I don't think social media really works well unless you have a community-minded attitude toward it. Does that make sense? Really having a community-minded towards it is what makes it work well. And that's it. That's it. It's real simple today. Real simple. Hey, Justin, how are you doing? It's real simple today. I'm just telling you that do not get caught up in the numbers game. The numbers game doesn't matter. How many followers you have actually doesn't matter even at all. I don't care if you have 200 followers. If you have 200 super engaged followers that are super fans and they all buy from you, that's all you need. That's all you actually need on social media. If you're looking for fame and fortune, all good. My son was just telling me about Charlie D'Amelio, and they were talking about they were about to get to 100 million fans this week, and she mentioned that, and a bunch of people unfollowed her. So the higher you get, the more people want to see you kind of fail a little bit. So the more followers you have, the more criticism you're going to get. So you'll get what you ask for, or don't wish for what you don't need. Or I don't know, you get what you ask for, and then that's bad. I'm not saying that having a lot of followers isn't kind of cool. It is, it's fun. I've been in the numbers game before. My Twitter account is a little bit like that. I played a game with that for a long time, just really trying to build that up and did a good job of it. But the bottom line is, in the end of the day, did it get me anywhere more than just talking to you like this? No, it didn't. And so that's really the key, guys. I mean, you want to talk to people, you want to understand their problems, and you want to help them solve their problems. So that's what I'm here today to do. Do not chase after 10,000 followers. Chase after really engaged community fans, and not just you're fans of them and they're fans of you, where you understand them and you know what they're doing, and you know what they're up to and how to help them. So that's it. I don't want to talk for too long today. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know. Definitely pick up the Superfans thing there. I have the link there for you. I have a short link there, so hopefully you can grab it. But I also have it in most of the places I'm streaming today. It's in the description up above. So anyway, take care. Have a great day. And remember, your community matters. So you need to be there for them. They're looking for you. So we need a little bit of you today. So come out and engage with us for 15 minutes. Sound good? Good. All right. Take care. Bye.